Mika, look.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Mika from Health Illusion.
And I'm Parsa, also from Health Illusion.
So
we're back with the third episode, guys. Oh
Pressure
my God.
and stress, as we said in our last episode, if you were tuning in.
It's crazy to think about we're already on the third episode, guys.
Crazy.
Time is going fast.
It feels like just yesterday we were on the intro.
I know, and hopefully one day we'll expand and make a really big community with this podcast.
With all of you guys, our listeners. Anyway, let's get right into it, shall we? Okay.
So, as we said, the third episode is going to be on pressure and stress, still under that overall topic of the month of confidence.
Okay, let's talk about the types of pressures, what is pressure, and because I feel like there's so many external factors that cause pressure. So let's start with peer pressure. That's such a big one, especially as a teen. It's
a lot to deal with.
So peer pressure. Peers can put a lot of pressure on you to do things you don't want to do, as well as yourself comparing yourself with peers, and also peers comparing themselves with you. And I feel like that's a big part of pressure as an overall topic,
And going off of what you said about peers comparing themselves to you, like we talked about in our last episode, the energy you put out in the universe is the energy you attract. So when they put out that energy, you can feel it.
Yeah, definitely. So societal norms, that's a good one.
Let's go into that one. So societal norms are expectations that society has.
They expect you to balance everything.
Along with academics, a healthy social life, and your own
physicality.
And that can be really hard to do, to try to balance everything and seem like this perfect human being.
That's kind of impossible. I feel like society expects us to have zero flaws. We're supposed to be perfect as a human.
And like you said, that's not possible. And that's okay. That's
human nature is not meant to be like that, And I feel like society expects you to be like that, but that's just not possible. So academic pressure.
I feel like we talk about this one a lot.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
As a teen, it's very important.
Definitely because we're in high school and obviously all this academic pressure is being put on us. So would you like to delve into more academic
Let's talk about what academic pressure means. So it's basically high pressure in a high school environment or any work academic setting. And so this can be extremely present in high school specifically due to colleges, having to apply to colleges and doing those extracurriculars and grades.
Extracurriculars, grades, those all are important for colleges, and they expect you to do so much to get into college.
Even in college itself, there can be a lot of academic stress to keep up with your peers and do great things.
Definitely, I completely agree. Anyway, family expectations. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a really deep one, and both of us having immigrant parents, I know there's a lot of expectations put onto us.
Because they work so hard to get into this country, and we have to fulfill that,
Yeah, but no matter where you're from, I'm sure most of us can relate to this because our families honestly just want the best for us, but sometimes it can come off as a little overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. So, they expect a lot, especially responsibilities that come with being members of a family. So, this could be, babysitting your siblings for, a long time, staying up to
certain
take care.
chores that take a lot of work.
Yeah, and that's really hard to balance, especially with academic pressure.
And, for example, something might be good to you, and for them, they might not be content with that. And it's about learning the balance of family's family, but I have to also put myself first.
And it's about compromise, definitely.
A lot of pressure also, yes.
Yeah,
compromise. I love that, actually. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Next is imposter syndrome. So we're going to talk about this very briefly because it's a layered topic that really needs more time to really delve into. But it's
basically... We will for sure do an episode on that in one of the later episodes.
Yeah. So this is basically... just an overview. It's a self-doubt of your skills. And if you're in an environment where everyone's exceptional, you would obviously feel inferior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just feel like you don't belong in the situation you are. Even though you do. You worked really hard and earned whatever situation you're in, but you might not feel like that, and that's imposter syndrome. And we'll talk about later on how to overcome that.
For sure. So let's talk about how some pressures can be good, but there's a line, you know what I mean? So
So what do you mean by that?
So basically there's something called eustress, and this is when pressure motivates you to do better and actually like improves your mindset and makes you motivated, you know. But there's a fine line between that and distress, and distress is when the stress and pressure gets too much to handle for you, and there are like negative effects on your health, like you start compromising other parts of your health for those stress and pressure components, you know.
And that's really not good. We want to learn how to get away from that.
There's a fine line between eustress and de-stress. And de-stress is when the stress gets actually too much to handle and there's like negative effects on the other parts of your health. You know what I mean? So we're going to teach you how to stay more on the eustress side of things.
And that'll be later on in the episode. So next, I want to cover performance anxiety a little bit.
That's a good
And I
one.
feel like personally, as a person who plays the piano and performs my pieces a lot, I can relate to this one. So performance
It
anxiety,
also definitely applies to like exam fear and stuff.
for sure, it can apply to anyone in any situation. It's all about connecting it to your personal situation. So it's something, performance anxiety, it's something that all teens struggle with 100%, or not even teens. If you're younger or older, I'm sure you can struggle with it in certain fields.
Mhm.
And this is because our entire experience
In high school,
in
it's
high
like,
school for teens specifically, it's centered around college, and so this can negatively affect our own mental state because we keep pushing our boundaries when we feel like we have to, even though you don't have to.
this definitely ties into self-comparison because you're comparing yourself with your
Mhm.
peers who are obviously doing better, but you're literally just like good enough as
You're
you are.
good enough, and if you want to improve, which is an amazing thing to do it at your rate and for yourself.
Yeah,
and your
not for
health.
others. Live for yourself. Remember that. Your health
100%.
comes first.
And I feel like that's something we repeat a lot and probably will be in each one of our episodes. One, because it's our motto. Two, because it's true. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely true.
100%. You want to do things for you and you only.
Okay, next let's talk about how societal pressure can actually affect our confidence. So,
What does
I'll-
that mean, Mika?
So, like, all of the pressure by all of these external factors build up and take a big, big toll on your mental health. When you feel like you aren't pushing yourself hard enough, like we were talking about with like college and stuff, or doing enough, this can take a toll on your vision of yourself, tying back into our theme of confidence for the month. So, like, having a bad vision of yourself because you're falling behind on all of these pressures is just not a good mindset to have. Do you want to delve more into how that mindset?
Yeah, for sure. So, for example, I want to share an example that I have. Whenever I feel like I'm doing amazing, and I am, honestly, but society tells me otherwise, you know? Society, the societal norms and expectations, the pressure from society tells me, no, you're falling short. You're not doing enough, and you have to do more, and you have to do better. And that can really take a negative toll on your mindset. And it's honestly all about mindset. So when you have a negative mindset, it can be really hard to achieve other things in your personal life.
Yeah, because of that mindset, like you're just going to continue to fall short because you keep thinking you're not doing good enough, and that can actually impact the way you do things. Which
Yes.
is really important.
So you really want to learn how to overcome that pressure,
Mhm.
which in the end, once you overcome it and you're doing things your way, you will gain confidence. Again, everything is connected.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about how to overcome pressure. Like, we've been talking so much about why pressure is important, like what are the types of pressure. I think it's time to finally
Yeah.
help you guys and how to overcome the
So
pressure.
how do we actually take a break and step away from all this pressure that's put onto us? Because it can be really overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree.
Mhm.
So, do you want to talk more about
Of course, I'll go first. So, first of all, one thing you can do, and I think you should do, and the first thing you should start with, is to find the root cause of the pressure. So, we just stated different types of pressure. So, for example, is it school? Is it pressure from your family, from friends, your social life, maybe from society?
Yeah, definitely. Like, sometimes friends can really, because some of your friends are just like always excelling at things, and you can think that you're just not good
Please
enough.
never compare yourself, guys. I feel like we didn't talk
They
much.
obviously struggle with things that you
Don't see
don't,
behind the
yeah.
scenes. Yes, I feel like we didn't talk that much about stress from friendship, and that's because later on we will make 100% a lot of episodes on friendship,
social health, like
social health, friendship, everything to do about all that jazz.
Yeah. Okay, so next I'll continue with this. So, organizing your life. So, make sure to keep everything organized and try to make a schedule to finish everything so you can feel one, you can feel more productive, two, you're actually more productive. And this
You're
can
on top
also,
of your work, girl.
yeah, and this can also make you feel like more in control of what you do and
Mhm.
rather than the external factors. So, you basically feel like you're taking control of your life rather than all of those pressures, like all of those
Mhm.
external factors making you think otherwise,
This way, you can feel like, okay, I'm actually in control. I know what I'm doing no matter what anyone tries to tell me.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So, next up, a tip I want to give you guys is try connecting more with things that you actually enjoy doing. So, instead of surrounding yourself with all these negative thoughts, you want to try to focus on things that you actually have fun doing. So, fill your life up with hobbies and activities you actually like. Esmika, what's one hobby you do that you really enjoy and lets you just get away
You
from
know,
that societal pressure?
I really like to do Indian classical singing. Like
Ooh,
it's
that
really
sounds really
fun.
cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's like really fun. Like whenever I'm just like feeling so much stress with my academics, I know I can just take a step back and do something creative with my
Mhm.
voice, and it really feels nice and it helps me refocus into what am I doing. So what about you, Parsa? Like what's something you really enjoy doing and helps you de-stress?
So I also love all the creative things in life, and I feel like I talk a lot about piano, but something people don't know about me is that I've actually been taking art classes for 6 years.
Oh wow.
Yes, it's really impressive. And so for me personally, art is an outlet. I love to draw, paint, put my feelings on a canvas, and I know that might sound corny, but honestly, it is nice to just have something relaxing. When you have a stressful day, it's nice to go home and look forward to something.
Like even though it might sound corny, like everything is real.
It is.
Like definitely putting your feelings on canvas is definitely a way to de-stress. You know what else I like doing? I like journaling. I like to write my
Ooh.
thoughts down so that like whenever I'm just having like a bunch of thoughts, I can just put it down on paper and really clear my
Yeah,
mind.
get over it. And we
Definitely.
will talk about journaling. That's an amazing technique for so many different things.
Definitely.
Going off of writing, I did say earlier on in some of the other episodes, I am in journalism, so I do enjoy writing and a lot of creative writing. So again, just a lot of that creative arts I love to use as an outlet to just unwind and distress.
Connecting back to our techniques on how to de-stress. And so basically, something I like to do is taking stuff slowly. Like it's
And I think that's really important.
yeah, so when we are having lots of pressure and are getting like really stressed really easily, it's kind of hard to concentrate. Don't you agree?
100%.
Like it's super difficult to just concentrate and like because you're thinking about so much of the other things you have to do. So don't try to do too much at once. Like doing too much at once can really clutter your brain. So give yourself time and concentrate on one thing and try to not think about the other things you have to do so you can give it your all and actually complete those tasks
Yeah,
faster.
just take it one step at a time, guys.
So our last tip for like de-stressing and like
Mhm.
learning how to overcome the pressure and gain your self-confidence is accepting the things you cannot change. So we actually covered this in our last episode
Yes,
a little bit
everything
into
connects
detail.
back.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely connects to our theme of the month. So there's some things or situations that we literally cannot change by ourselves. Like recognizing this is not easy, but once you can, it means that you can park them and put your efforts into the things you care about. So would you like to elaborate on that, Parsa?
So yes, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. So there's some things you cannot change, and I think a lot of those are the external factors. And so it's really important to know that internal factors are things, and I'm gonna go a little depth into that if that's okay. So internal factors are things about you and your life and your actions and your choices and your decisions. And those are things you can actually change and decide, okay, what do I want to do? And that you have a lot of power in and decides a lot of things. And I will dive deeper into that in a sec. But the external choices, like Ethmika was saying, are the things you cannot change and you have to accept that. There's acceptance that comes with that. You cannot change. Absolutely. External factors, those are things that do not regard you. Maybe that's the time or place of the situation. Other people, you can 100% not change other people and their thoughts and their opinions and their minds. And that's something I think kind of hard to grasp on. Everyone wants to be and feel right. everyone's feelings are valid, even if they're wrong or right. It's about what you do that matters the most.
Yeah, and that definitely ties into people pleasing. Like, everyone's trying to change everyone's opinions of yourself, but you have to be confident in who you are and make friends who also like you for who you are.
Yes,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Like we said, the energy you put out is the energy you get. You want to put out good energy and you want to receive that good energy. Do not surround yourself with negative energy. That's really not going to take you places.
Definitely, I completely agree. And like, definitely, people pleasing makes you not live for yourself. Like, a main thing is living for yourself and realizing how important it is to overcome societal pressures
Any
and
pressure, honestly.
just any pressure and just doing what you think is right for you, and like prioritizing yourself rather than what others think of you, societal expectations. Like, just silence all of that noise and live for yourself.
I couldn't agree more because, again, this is your life and your health comes first. So, like as Mika said, this all ties a little bit into people pleasing, and we will do a separate episode on people pleasing later on. But now I want to talk a little bit about the internal
Definitely, internal
things.
factors.
Yes, internal factors, because those are the ones you can actually control despite all the pressure being put on you. Internal factors are like your beliefs, your thoughts, your opinions, your personality, the way anything that has to do with you and the situation is an internal factor. And those are the things you can actually change and the things you should actually be trying to change. I feel like a lot of people try to change other people or the situation itself. And again, is that internal or external?
I think it's definitely an external factor.
And it is. And like we talked about, you cannot change those. So you have to know, you have to recognize that you're the only person you can control. So then you can actually control those internal factors.
Definitely focus on yourself rather than other people, because focusing on yourself will actually help you get better, you know?
Yes.
And like, external factors, as Parsa said, cannot change. Like, you literally cannot force them to change just because you want them to. So maybe focusing on yourself is the right way to go.
Yes.
Parsa, do you have an example of like an external factor that you really want to change but you can't?
Yes. So for me personally, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, I love my family. I really do. But sometimes you don't agree with them, and that's fine. You're not going to agree with every single person you meet, family or not. And so sometimes in arguments, I wish they could see my perspective and side of the story, and I wish I could change their minds. But simply like we talked about, you cannot. So it's more important on focusing on myself and making sure I can express my thoughts clearly to them and that I'm doing things my way.
Oh my god, completely. Like, you can't affect how others think, but you really do. Like, it's genuinely such an important part of social relationships.
And if you're doing amazing, you can affect other people with your positive energy. Now, Smika, I want to talk a little bit about internal factors. Are there any examples that you have about internal factors that you can change and, you know, in certain situations that you can focus on?
I'm a really big procrastinator. Like, I can't. I want to be honest.
More.
I really want to be honest. Like, whenever I say I'm going to do something like early, I end up not doing it because I say it's going to be due tomorrow. And that's an internal factor that I'm trying to work on for myself, because I really want to be a more productive person, to leave more space for obviously my hobbies, because actually procrastinating gives you like less time. And we're obviously going to do an episode about like productivity and procrastination.
We'll talk everything school and academic related about that later on.
Yeah, but that's something I really want to change, and I'm actively working on changing that.
And I love that for you. That's really good.
Thank you. So I love how you talked about your parents, and and honestly, that's a problem I can relate to.
Yeah,
because
I think most of us can.
I get really frustrated because they don't really listen to our side of the things as teens.
Yes.
So,
in summary, let's just recap everything we talked about today.
Definitely. So mainly we were talking about the types of stress and why those affect your confidence and how to overcome those.
Yes.
So
we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We will see you guys next week. Remember, your health always comes first. And this is Health Illusion signing off.